Koumajou Remilia Scarlet Symphony was easily one of my most anticipated imports of the year so far. It's been a quietish year in terms of imports, as you'll have seen in my video recounting all of them, but for me this was gonna liven up the list for 2022. I played Record of Lodoss War, Overlord, Escape from Nazarick, and I was hoping Scarlet Symphony would add to the trifecta of gothic action adventure games. Does it? Well, let me tell you. Firstly, if you're new here, subscribe. We're giving away a Nintendo Switch OLED model to one of you when we get to 100k. And check out my new channel, A Bit More Jordan, for a lot more me, long retrospectives on classic games. With that out of the way, what is Koumajou Remilia Scarlet Symphony? Well, firstly, you need to know about the Touhou project, a series of shooters that somehow spawned a media franchise of hobbyists creating fan content set within the series' universe, whether it be music, anime, and of course countless video games. You may be familiar with Lunar Nights, Genso Wanderer, and even Touhou Spellball, all of them commercialized fan games available on the Switch. I genuinely have zero idea how a bullet hell shooter can capture the imagination of so many, but it is what it is. Koumajou Remilia was originally released in 2009. It was an action platformer in a similar mold to the classic Castlevania games. In fact, it's a straight up rip-off at times, but that's cool because old school Castlevania is cool. I actually kind of prefer the linear action platformers of old to the Metroidvania style, but that's just me. Don't get me wrong, those are great too. I just think the original style needs more love than it gets these days. Anyways, rolling up to 2022, Koumajou Remilia has a HD remake with new and improved visuals, added voice acting, and of course, an English translation. So this is a fairly short game, just as you'd expect from something going for old school Castlevania style. You have a handful and some more of linear levels as you try to track down Remilia within her Scarlet Devil Mansion, although it's more like a castle to be fair. Why? Well, she's unleashed a poisonous red mist into the world, which does things apparently. As you make your way through the outer castle grounds into the castle itself, there are hordes and hordes of yokai trying to stop you. It's sort of quaint with crows and even frogs, but it won't be long till the cute axe-wielding anime lolly show up to tear you apart. The main character is Reimu, which will mean nothing to most of you, including myself, but she's the main character of the series. At the end of each level, there is a boss battle with a famous Bishoujo from the series like Alice, Marissa, Hong Mei-ling, and so on. And some of them, usually the more friendly of the bunch, will join you in support. Not by actually fighting, but you can use their magical ability, which we should get onto. Scarlet Symphony has all the usual tropes of a modern take on this genre. Her basic attack is an awesome whip of sorts. You can do a slide, which unfortunately doesn't damage enemies, but is often useful for dodging attacks from some of the larger foes. She has a slightly longer range attack by lobbing talisman, as though she's in Pocky and Rocky, which I honestly found almost zero use for since it's pathetically weak, and they don't shoot out far enough to actually keep you safe. Might as well just use your whip. The other thing you have up your sleeve that is quite unique to this game as far as I can remember, you can fly pretty much. Yeah, you jump twice and you'll hover in the air and you can fly around for as long as you want. This means that you can fly past a lot of the enemies and hazards if you want to. Although to be fair, most of the locations you're in are very tight corridors and the only way through is to murder them. But there are areas where a cheeky hover past feels rather naughty, and I do like being rather naughty. But there is a reward for killing the enemies. You get these energy orbs which allow you to use your magic. Each magic attack takes up 10 of these magic points, so you'll need plenty of them if you plan on using your magic, which you definitely 100% need to on the bosses, because I have to tell you, they are brutal. This is where the Touhou connection really comes in, because not only do you get a vapid anime girl to fight, but she also fights with bullet hell style attacks. I was prepared for this game in the same way I was prepared for my secondary school exams, i.e. I wasn't ready at all, panicked to shittery, and yet somehow came through the other end with a piece of paper. Well, okay, I didn't get a piece of paper here, but I did get an in-game achievement, yay, go me. This combination of old school Castlevania and bullet hell shooter, they do not mix well. At least with how they are balanced here, where your opponent zips around all over the place, firing off instant attack after instant attack, and you've got boots full of cement and are hovering through the power of farts alone. It does not gel, and it's messy. And considering you've only got 3 lives, you're gonna need to get lucky or learn very, very quickly, or you'll have to play through the entire stage again. The girl in the arena actually made me rage because she is this giant firing off bullets that also explode, and here I am acting like I'm towing a caravan through treacle. I don't mind difficulty as long as I have the tools to counter the threat, but here I don't feel like it at all. Just spam the magic, hope you don't get murdered too much, and you may just get through it alive. It is the worst part of the game for me, and it did sour my experience quite a bit. You can lower the difficulty if you want to and give yourself more lives, but I have a principle to complete and review games on their standard setting, the setting that the developers envisioned. All reviewers should do that. The other thing is the level design. I mean, it's fine, it's not too bad, but I would say it is uninspired and a bit basic. The levels are fairly short, but they still end up repeating similar layouts for some reason. I failed at the arena level boss so many times, I kept game overing and having to go through that same level over and over again, which by the way, is also the worst level in the game, since I'm pretty sure it was designed by someone in a coma. It almost drove me insane. This is the worst offender in terms of just bland, boring, repetitive design, but the rest are okay, but still, there's nothing special about them. Overall about the gameplay, it's okay. It provides a decent challenge through the levels, even if the designs of the platforming leaves a bit to be desired. There are plenty of foes for you to learn and combat, and it's this part of the game where the original Castlevania fans will feel right at home. The boss battles, however, are just a mess in my opinion, not balanced enough for the abilities of your character. Now this game is available digitally on the eShop for £27 in the UK and $30 in the US. I think that is a bit too much for a digital release considering there's only a handful of stages, plus a few bonus stages and bosses. You're going to be done in about 3 hours or so, probably less if you play on a lower difficulty. It is available physically, but only in Japan at the time of writing this. This is perfect for importing since it does have English on the cartridge, and of course it has some tangible value. You'll be able to sell it on if you want to, or keep it for yourself forever. That's why physical is always better for me. If you want to import a copy, then check the links in the description as that is where you'll find it, and you'll also be supporting us at the same time, which is the best way to do so, because we get a bit of cash and you get a game. Plus, if you click our links, you can also get a very commendable 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia if you use our current coupon code STEENBOK when checking out. Remember to click our link first though. Our code won't last forever. In a couple of months it will be replaced, so make sure you're subscribed and check out my latest Let's Get Physical video on Monday for the latest code if you're watching this in the future. And remember, it's free shipping over $100 normally. It's actually 50 right now. If you need some eShop credit, then check out SwitchWatch.net. We got a lot of eShop credit on there for you. Going back to the value, I do like what they did with the presentation, where I can see some of the value being the soundtrack is excellent. It's one of the best parts of the game for sure, very rocking and action orientated. There's plenty of variety as well to really get you in the mood for it, and it's nice that you can play the music in the music player of sorts in the main menu of the game. The voice acting is what it is. Obviously the story is complete and utter guffage, so I stopped paying attention halfway through, but the high-pitched screechy voices seemed authentic. The visuals are great too. They look spot on with nice character designs and environments. The enemies are well animated, and there are small touches that add a lot, like the time of day changing as you go down into the arena. It's pretty cool, and it's a good looking game, that is for sure. Overall, I think Koumajou Remilia Scarlet Symphony is a decent game for those looking for some old school Castlevania in their lives, which stays true to the difficulty as well as the gameplay. The standard part of the game, platforming, killing monsters, is definitely the stronger side, even if the level design is a little weak. The boss battles are the worst part of the game and are poorly thought out in my opinion. They're not impossible, just really messy and unsatisfyingly balanced. The presentation is great in both visuals and audio, but I wish the digital price was a bit cheaper for such a short experience. A 7 out of 10. Alright, many thanks for watching. If you want to pick this up physically, then check the links in the description to support us. SwitchWatch.net for eShop credit. Check out some similar reviews I've done for Record of Lodoss War and Overlord, plus my brand new channel, A Bit More Jordan, for a lot more me. I take you through classic video games, analyzing them, doing big retrospectives, and also adding a dash of humor in there too. Go check it out, I think you'll enjoy it.